As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Well, hello, my people. It's nice to see you. Where's my button? There it is. I am just off today. I'm running 15 minutes late. I'm off. What am I doing? Betty, what are you doing? I don't know what the hell I'm doing, folks. It's not my fault. It's just not my fault. It's not my fault. I got too many things going on, and tomorrow, guys, we're going to be rocking and rolling freaking early as you know what, and I've got to set an alarm clock to make sure that I'm up at as early as you know what. I've got another meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m., okay? So I'm not going to be going, I'm not going to a ribbon cutting, so hopefully, no dresses tomorrow, okay? I'll wear a dress. I'll wear a dress and I'll even be on my best behavior, but damn it, I want to be in jeans and t-shirt, and you know it. You know it.
That was bullshit.
And Betty fan got accused of doing something Mom of 9.5 did, okay? I just realized when I came in here, I was about to call Betty fan, because this is what she does to me. She sends me a bunch of goodies. I really do appreciate you going, locale on the eggnog. I think she's trying to say something. She's like, Betty, don't be buying that high calorie. We see it. We're starting to see it, girl. Pretty soon, we're going to start asking you when you expecting. So be careful, be careful. I will be honest with you. Mom at 9.5. I ate one. The bear is gone. The bear is history. The bear, well, since nobody actually saw the bear, did the bear really exist at all? That's the question we need to ask ourselves, right? If nobody saw the bear, did the bear really exist at all? I did chug the eggnog directly out of the carton. If anybody's curious, Betty, how did you take the egg? You want to hear something crazy? I had just finished a cup of that high calorie stuff. the last cup, where you turn the container upside down and watch it just drip, 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 and then it goes to the low drip, and it starts going to the scattered drip, 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 drip. You're like tapping on it. We need to start an investigation right away. We have a missing bear. We have a cute missing bear that's a sugar cookie, okay? I think... No, that was not a good joke. I need to stop. Good gracious. I am cruising for a bruising. Itching for a switching. All right, guys. It is nice to see you guys this afternoon. I'm Bullhorn Betty. I cover true crime. And today's episode, we're covering the mysterious disappearance of the bear sugar cookie. Okay, we're eyeballs deep in a new investigation, and it's all hands on deck. All hands on deck. You don't have to be Deanna. Okay, you know what that means? It just means more for me. I'm just saying, it just means more for me. She did it now. How dare her? Deanna does not like eggnog. Hold the phone. Hold the phone, folks. Hold the phone. If none of you guys like eggnog, I'll take it. You don't want your glass? Pass it on down, honey. Pass it on down. You can have it all. I want it all. Okay? I want it all. It is my new caffeine, okay? It is my new caffeine. I'm literally scheduling my life around my eggnog intake this time of year, okay? And that is literally no joke, okay? Last year, it was around the peppermint mocha, okay? We gave the peppermint mocha just a witty old little break this year. I think the eggnog addiction is a little more high calorie than the peppermint mocha addiction. But who's counting? Who's counting, right? Every now and again. She said, who farted? Oh, good gracious. You guys are killing me. You guys are killing me. So anyways, I do want to tell you guys, it was amazing today. Okay, we went to I didn't put that up on the board. Hold on a second. Shoot. How am I going to do this now? Gosh, the pickles I get myself into. Huh. Well, we'll get to it. I'll show you a wee little bit of the event I went to, okay? So, if you guys are concerned, most of us, if you're a normal human being, okay, you probably like animals more than you like human beings, okay? The peppermint mocha does thanks to Betty. Oh, good gracious. That is an understatement. You know what? I really haven't. I had some peppermint mocha creamer, but you know what? And I still have I have just enough to go get me one of them, grande or whatever it is, the big one, right? I got enough on the gift card to get me one. I still haven't gone over there. I'm waiting. I'm like, if I just wait until next week, right? I just wait until next week. It's gonna be colder, and it's gonna be much, much better. Like I'm pacing myself here. I'm like, okay, we got the peppermint mocha covered. We just need to decide, when are we gonna do it? When are we gonna come out of the cave and go get us a real peppermint mocha? I think we'll do it tomorrow. Okay? Maybe on the way back from the port meeting. Okay, we have a port meeting tomorrow. I gotta go to it. If you guys don't know, I'm pissed off at my county. My county has pissed me off. I tell you guys all the time, if you have a problem, be a boil on the butt of a politician. How many people have been around this channel long enough that I say, if you want to get anything done, you need to be a boil on the butt of a politician. Okay, well, my politicians have pissed me off. Okay, so now I'm going to be that boil on the butt of every politician. Okay, I'm just going to be a miserable biatch until people start getting in line in this county. So I already made the phone calls. I've already let people know, that we are in this moment. Now, what will I say about the dog kennels today? I'm very pleased with our dog kennels. You guys know I'm a cheap biatch, okay? You guys know I am. So I don't like the price tag. I don't like the price tag, folks. I'm upset as all get out with the price tag. But, I walked into the kennels. They have AC in them. They each have their own door and their own, listen to this, they have their own porch, folks. Our dogs have their own porch. They have small little ones for the smaller dogs and larger ones for the larger dogs, and they are pretty. We got about 120 spaces for some dogs. We've got, I found out, I got an opportunity to talk. Me. I'm gonna ask people, because these are animals. They fall within my jurisdiction. My jurisdiction is Manatee County. They're in Manatee County. So I want to know, what are we going to do with our problem pups, right? We have problem pups. Everybody knows that we have humans that treat dogs poorly and intentionally make their dogs violent. And it's not the dog's fault. It's the stupid owner's fault. We're not going to get into it. But, I want to know what are we going to, we're going no kill. So if anybody's wondering where I'm going with this, yeah, I'm basically asking, because at the end of the day, if you got dangerous dogs, you got to put them down. What type of rehab do we have? Obviously I want to limit the amount of doggy homicides in Manatee County, right? So, I shouldn't call them homicides. They're, the DP, basically, the dogs are, but back in the day, if our dogs weren't, adopted in XYZ time, we'd put good dogs down. I mean, that's the way most counties ran. It was inhumane. It was sad. So our county has kind of stepped up to the plate in this arena. Do I think it's the government's responsibility to be taking care of doggy welfare? No, I do not. I think we should, we have, nonprofits that are supposed to do that for us. But, whatever. We were donated this property, blah, blah, blah. Denise said I stole the cookie. Denise is claiming because she's a cookie monster. She's the cookie monster. We found the cookie monster. Actually, I think it's my belly. I won't lie. I'm on my belly. But I don't know if there was a bear. Somebody needs to prove. We need receipts. We need receipts, and the only person that knows anything is not a mom of 9.5. That's all she got, not a mom of 9.5, okay? I don't know what I'm going to go for next in the sugar cookies, but they were good. But anyways, air conditioning. They have air conditioning. They have porches. It's a nice facility. Okay. The price tag I could have lived without. Okay. I can honestly tell you I could live without. But I'm very pleased with the progress of this. They have an amazing, I was teasing Glenn. So listen to this. So we get there and we're like, what is this area? Because they have like these big, huge fenced in running areas, so you can kind of take the dog out there, socialize with them and stuff like that. But getting back to the bad dogs, we actually have a person that is trained in retraining dogs, and I can't remember the words that were used because I went on this trip. This is not the trip. This is kind of the, you know what? I've already got this up, so let's just roll with it. Give me just a second. Let me put this up in here, but let's just roll with this. Browser. Is this a browser? No, this is a screen capture. Okay, give me just a second. We're gonna go with. No, we don't want to do that. We want to do a screen capture 2. Okay, and then we're going to do Windows capture. Then we're going to do player. There we go. Okay, So over here, give me just a second in the vertical. You guys are just going to need to be finessed just a little bit more. So give me just a second while I get you guys finessed. Okay. Because you guys are going to be on the big screen, so I got to reduce this down. I wish it automatically reduced. God, it would make it so much easier, but it doesn't. Okay, so this is Tal. He is now our chair. He's the one that won a rigged election for the chair, which not hard to get a rigged election. All right, so I digress. Here's you guys see the kennels behind. What you're actually looking at behind here is the porch. The porch to one of the kennels. So the kennels, all the kennels are entered by the inside of the building, and those gates behind the gate, that's the kennel. That's like the porch of the kennel. So let me show you. Let me get this up here. So this area right here, this is their porches. It's kind of cute, and they're caged in, and then they have a cage fence around the cages. So it's a completely secured area here. But just totally, I mean, in my opinion, it's really cool.
Bishop, and we'll go ahead and get started real quick with an invocation from District 2 Commissioner Amanda Ballard.
Okay, if you guys want to know who Amanda Ballard is, there she is. That's Amanda Ballard. Let me move this out of the way. There we go. We'll move this up here. There's Amanda Ballard. Okay, this is my county commissioner. This is the one I'm kind of having problems with. We're going to boot her off the county commissioner. She's a nice woman. I mean, no hard feelings, just not right for our district.
Declared your creation good and entrusted us as stewards to care.
So you guys get to finally put faces to names. And then we'll get into, there's Tal, there's George. There's George. That's Mr. Cruz, okay? That's Mr. Cruz right there. This is the one that joked around saying I can't boot him until 2028. Well, that's just great, pumpkin. I'll be waiting there. So, he wanted to make sure that this went forward because, he's about to not be a chair anymore. And he wanted to make sure that this was done under his leadership as chair. So, all right. So this is what I did today. And then did we have Mike? Mike didn't come up. There's the lady. I don't really care about her. I like this lady here, but I don't really care about her. So that's kind of where we were. That's what we were doing. We're at the ribbon cutting for this. I got the wrong one. I should have put the one in there for... let me remove that one. Yeah, I should have put the one in there for when I did the tour. The tour was going on after, but because we were there, we know everybody. They went ahead and took us on a tour with a few other people to the insides of the kennels, so we weren't part of the major group that went there. We were there before, and I was able to get some recording and go and film, when it wasn't so crowded. So it was really nice. I have to be rigged election Saturday, so I know. Well, and that's my problem. It's like, I'm so sick of freaking rigged elections. I'm tired of it, I'm tired of it. And it's just, Dad, burn it. Okay, come on. There we go. It's just irritating, especially when we're kind of in charge here. There's no need to do that. Everybody needs to play fair and by the rules. You guys know how I am. I don't like rule breakers, right? I just don't. I just think it's wrong. I think it's wrong, okay? I think everybody should play by the rules. If everybody plays by the rules and does it the right way, we shouldn't have all these blessed problems, I just don't see why it's so blessed difficult to do everything the way it was supposed to be done. That's my only point. I give up, whatever. Let me fix the there we go, guys. Okay, we got them kind of in everywhere. All right, you guys aren't here to find out about the dog kennels, the ribbon cutting, or anything else. You guys are halfway across the world, but you guys are interested in what we do here. It's not just about the missing cases. We do so much more, right? We do so much more. Like, we have our feet in a lot of different Fartman George, yeah, there we go. But, George, he's just not the same person. I worked my ass off to get that man elected, not once, but twice. Okay. You guys have no idea. I was very loyal to George, and George turned. He just turned. And then I see the people he's rubbing elbows with at all these events, and it's Carol Whitmore and Misty Servia. And you guys know I worked my ass off to get those two people removed off of our county commissioner because they were corrupted. And now we got two county commissioners, Mike Ron there too, rubbing elbows with these people, these people that have caused such damage to Manatee County. It's just sickening. It's just sickening. So I have just committed to this county, at least for the next 2 years, to really try to work again to try to correct this ship. It's like every time we get somebody in office, they're good, they're die hard what they say they're going to do, but by the second term or halfway through their first term, they start making this flip. I don't know if it's our bureaucracy or if it's something else, some other person reaching out to him, but I'm telling you, I have watched this over and over again. I've been involved since before 2015, and I can tell you I see it more times than not. And if it's happening here, it's happening all across this country as well. So I just get frustrated, and so I'm gonna try like hell once again, along with the great people of this county, to try to find good people that represent our interest. We're having a big problem with our developers, and I have to think that that's a problem going on in every single state across this country. It's probably happening in your place. But right now, we've got a situation where I didn't even know. Did you know we graded our roads? We grade our roads. They have taken more of our A, B, and C roads and turned them into D's and F's over their overdevelopment in this county. That means more people are going to die on our roads because of the decisions our county commissioners make. How many neighbors is okay for you to lose? How many? Which neighbor are you willing to lose? What if it's from your household? Which family member are you willing to lose? You know what I'm saying? Which family member are you ready to lose tomorrow morning on their way to work? Raise your hand. How many people are going to jump in line on that one? Okay? The decisions from my county are affecting people's lives. And those things are affecting them negatively in this county. And we've got to do something about it. And I've got to say, and I always stand on my platform here with all of you guys, all you beautiful people. And I do it because I want you guys to see what I do and how I do it, because over time of seeing it, you're going to be frustrated in your community one day, and you're going to be empowered to do something about it. And that's what I try to instill. And maybe the seed's not, maybe the seed hasn't flourished yet, but I truly believe the work we do here is going to make future seeds flourish in each and every one of you. I truly believe that. And so I think it's very, very important that we, support that, and we support people's community. And right now, my community, in part, I feel like is in shambles. And I can't be sitting here going all over the country trying to help other communities when my community's in shambles and I turn my back on them. So anyways, that's kind of our commitment. So if you guys are wondering why I'm going here and going there and doing stuff, it's what I used to do when we started this channel. I was always at my county meetings. If you go back to Summer Wells, when I was here, you guys seen a lot of my work. There was no ifs, ands, or buts where I was. So it was a schedule, and I got off that schedule because I got, ticked off at my county, and then I got a little complacent, and then it just became comfortable not going and maybe listening here and maybe listening there, and then I walk back in and everything's in shambles. So it's time to get to work, and that's my doing. It's other activists that's kind of leaned back and haven't done anything doing. It's it's constant work, and it's never ending. So I hope everybody gets involved in their community. But today we were able to really do some good things for some pets in Manatee County, abandoned pets that are looking for their forever home. And I got to tell you, I met some beauties today that really, I got to be honest. The one thing I hate about going to the animal open houses and stuff like that is you look at all those damn cute faces and you want to take one home. You want to take one home. You want to go. You want to make sure that they have a forever home, and you can't. Like I got a Delilah. I can deal with a Delilah. That's about as much as Bullhorn Betty can deal with. Okay, Delilah, she brings a lot of joy into my world, but I don't think I could deal with another dog, honestly. With my lifestyle, where I'm going, she's a pocket pup. She can kind of just go with me anywhere I go. 2, I don't think I'll be able to get away with it. 1, I think I can get by. You know what I'm saying? I have an ex-son-in-law. I'll volunteer. Oh, that's great. That's great. All right, guys. Well, it's been nice, chatting and catching up with you guys for the day. My daughter's making the kids gringas. I don't know what that is. I get IV fluid and lovely feeding tube. Ugh. I don't like it. Bribed a nurse to get me get my table to watch this. Oh, good gracious. Well, bless you, my love. They are working. Small dogs are much easier. Yeah. They work. Small dogs are much easier. Yeah, and that's the way Delilah is. And I never knew, how big Delilah was going to get. We were, it was, because you never know. I mean, they're different types of dogs. I got an applehead, so even in the applehead, area, you got different weights. You got a range. So we didn't know she was going to be on the smaller side or on the bigger side, but then you got your deer heads. Your deer heads are much, much larger Chihuahuas. And Laura's got a deer head. So she has a much larger Chihuahua. Gringas are like burritos with shrimp, steak, and ooh, I like that. That sounds good. That sounds real good. You can go ahead and send me some gringas anytime you want. Just make sure there's some pico de gallo, and make sure we have plenty of limes and cilantro. I gotta have some fresh cilantro. Good gracious. I just got done eating. I got done eating. Okay, let's get back. So, most of you guys are here because we're here for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, which disappeared from his home on February 26, 2024, and hasn't been seen or heard from since. There's been a lot of different things that have been going on with this case, and I guess we kind of go over a little bit by slow, but I guess what we can take away from this is that there are 2 major possibilities as to what happened from the public's perspective, right? He either made it home or he didn't. And if he didn't make it home, why? If he did make it home, what happened after he got home? If we were to look at Occam's razor, there's, something there that if he did make it home, then obviously something happened inside or very, very close to that home. And since, according to his mother, he went to bed, everything was normal, she heard nothing. She heard nothing other than a thud that she never checked on, which, again, I think even that statement alone defies logic, because any parent that would hear an odd or strange noise coming from their child's room, I think just instinctually goes and checks to see what it is, if it's not something that should be a sound that they make, it's not like a child playing around or horsing around in the room. It sounds like, something hit something. I just don't know any, women, mommies are nosy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's process this. And I always like to process, because I like you guys to really go into yourself and think about how you would act in a situation similar to that. I mean, think about it. You'd want to make sure nothing hit your walls. You want to make sure nothing marked up your walls, right? Which woman in my chat has no concern about whether their walls are marked up or not? If you're not concerned about whether your walls have nicks, holes, and marks in them, please put a 1 in the chat. If you have a problem, if you heard a thud and you're going to go in there to make sure your walls are okay, the only thing I can think of is the walls, because I think of my mom, right? And why would my mom come in there if there was a thud? Would she think that I was, half dead? Of course not. You know what her first thought is what the hell did she just throw against my damn wall? And it better not have made a mark, because if it made a mark, I'm tanning her hide. Tell me that doesn't sound more logical. I'm very nosy, and my kids are 21 and 23. Exactly. I'm 46, okay? And if I was in one of my mama's rooms and she heard a thud, she would come in to check and see what the hell I'm doing. Okay? I'm sorry. I know my mom. Okay? I know my mom. So even as adult children, I just don't see it. This was a 15-year-old boy that should be in bed. Like, he's got school the next day, okay? And you're telling me if my mom would, if she heard a thud, you know what? I'm gonna put, can I put Mama Bullhorn on the spot? Maybe I shouldn't put Mama Bullhorn on the spot. I won't put Mama Bullhorn on the spot. If she comes in, we'll put her on the spot. But I'm telling you, even at 46, if there was a thud in the room that I was in, my mother would get her happy ass either out of the bed or out of the recliner in the living room and walk her happy ass down and open the door. What did it hit? It better not have hit my wall or I'm tanning your hide, okay? Even at 46, I can hear my mom telling me that. I can hear Mom, you're so abusive! You're so abusive! So abusive, I tell you. So abusive. But, you know, I mean, I just try to put, I really do, broke down the door down, yeah. But, you know, I really do try. I do sit back. I'll just sit back like this and just, I'll think of something, right? And I'll be thinking, what, you know, like about something. Like, okay, the thud. Like, what would a normal person do? Like, how do you put yourself in that situation? You know what you do? You close your eyes and you think of all the times that you can relate to that, right? It's not the first time. Believe it or not, if you really try and you just sit there and you think about it, you'll think about something you did as a child, as an adult, as this, where there was a thud or a loud noise. What happened? I can give you an example as an adult, okay? When I broke my ankle. When I broke my ankle, I came around. It was a day from hell. It was Friday the 13th. I've told you guys this story before. It was Friday the 13th. This was before my best friend lost his life. And I was at work. I had a terrible day at work. I looked at my boss. I said, I'm done. I'm walking. It was like noon. I said, I've had it. I said, I'm not coming back until Monday. I don't want to hear from anybody. Don't call me. Don't do this. And I'm calling my husband. Come pick me up. I'm done. I'm done. Don't call me. Don't talk to me. I'm done. And so I walk out of work. We get on the interstate. The car dies. Okay? So I'm like, crap. So since we were next to my friend's house, Nick, I call him. I ask him to come tow us. Come to find out, he's closer to my house in Manatee County. It took 4 hours to come get him. Come to find out, he tows us in. We had a tow strap. The tow strap broke. I mean, a day from hell. We finally get the car into the driveway 4 hours later. 4 hours later. I called to look for an alternator. I slip on the dog's bed. Vince and Nick were both outside working on the car. There was a thud, and it was me slipping on the dog's bed and breaking my ankle on Friday the 13th. I had to get a cast. I have receipts, and trust me, I kept the cast because my best friend wrote this saying on this cast, and his girlfriend that was just hilarious, and I'm glad I never got rid of it. It's actually in it's actually not too far from where I'm sitting right now. And that cast I will keep forever because it has that was the last thing I've got of Nick on there. Nick and his girlfriend at the time. But they came running in the house. They were outside trying to figure out what was going on in the car, what was, this, that, and the other, getting the alternator taken out of the car. And there was a loud thud, and it was me hitting the ground and breaking my ankle. And they slung the front door open, and you got Nick's head up here and Vince's head down here, like, what the hell happened? And I'm just like, it was so incredibly painful. I thought I just sprained it real bad. Come to find out, I did not sprain it. I fractured the bone. I had to be in a cast for 6 weeks, and I ended up cutting my cast off and putting a walking boot on. Oh, the doctor did not like me at all, but that is a true story. So if you really think in your history, you're going to find other details like that. What happened when it happened to you? You will find out people came into the room. When I made a thud in my living room, my front door swung open and Vince and Nick wanted to know what that thud was. And I am an adult. So, you know, hanging a shell. Oh, good gracious. Oh, Belks. Belks. I remember Belks. Actually, I think one of my sweaters are still from Belks. I've had it all. Good quality product, obviously. Belks has been a while. I think there might be only like a few Belks left in the whole country. So, wow. Yeah, I've only had one broken bone. And that's my ankle. And that was that Friday the 13th. So I remember it. But there's other times. There's other times when I've thrown a ball and my ball hit the wall. My mom came rushing into that room wanting to know what the hell was that noise, and I better not have marked up her damn walls, okay? I'm going to keep saying that because that's what my mom said. I don't know what but you better not have marked. We had white walls, folks, okay? My mom was a white glove clean mama. This was a mama from the 70s and 80s, okay? I don't know how they managed to balance work, life, and cleaning houses and dealing with bratty kids. I don't know how the hell they did it. You know, the parents these days and age were not built like the mamas were built back in those days. I can tell you that. Okay, I can't walk and chew gum in this house. My mama walked, chewed gum, tap dance, and frickin', juggled. I don't know how the hell the woman did it, but she did it, okay? God bless you, mamas. But again, coming back to the thud. What do you think was, let me ask you guys this, and I know there's going to be a bunch of answers. I haven't even been on the vertical side yet. If you guys are on the vertical side, Laura, it's nice to see you. I didn't even, I'm probably bogged down. I forgot to even stop that. It looks like, Laura, you might be over there. We only have 8 over in the horizontal. Mama, 5.5, you're 9.5, you're over here. Darlene, it's nice to see you, love bug. I hope you're doing well. Phil, Miffy, Alberta girl, it's nice to see you. Oh, we got a few people over there. Hopefully you guys made it over here to the horizontal if you want to chat with everybody. It looks like we only got about 10 people over there. Eeyore Blues. The horizontal chat, we got about 137 rocking it over here. So you guys can pick whatever chat you want. If you don't really comment very much and you're on your cell phone, maybe the vertical chat's right up your alley. Right up your alley. But, this whole case has kind of been really, it defies logic, so that always gives us the red flags. When it defies logic and parents are acting weird, we kind of start zoning in on the parents because we know how parents don't touch the walls. There it is. That's the mama. That's it right there. Don't touch the walls. Right. Oh, and good gracious, we had those French doors that have those little, like the windows, they're like this big, they got like 12 or 16 of them. I don't know how many. Well, we had three across, and I don't know how many, maybe 15, 12 or 15. I can't remember, but anyways, my mom she would go there and she'd clean it. She hated fingerprints. Again, I don't know how the moms did it back in the day. Like my mom, like our house was freaking white glove clean. My mom woke up in the morning, she started downstairs, and by the time it was time, like she had this whole, like, system down. She'd start downstairs, clean the downstairs. She'd get up at a certain time, clean the downstairs. By the time she got upstairs with the vacuum cleaner, it's just the right time to be taking the vacuum cleaner into our room to wake us up for school. Though we didn't have, like, we had alarm clocks, but my mom never trusted us with the alarm clock. You know what she trusted? She trusted the good old vacuum cleaner. How many moms were the alarm clock, vacuum cleaner alarm clock? I'm curious. How many do we have in here? My mom was in a room. Those big, bulky vacuum cleaner. Time to get up, honey. Time to get up. Come on. It's time to get up. It's time to get up. Get up. I'm going to be making the bed next. You better be out before I come back. Out of bed. I'm pulling you out. I don't know how many mothers like that. Was my mom. So anyways, again, it comes down to this thud. What kind of thud are we, looking at here? Are we looking at, a thud like me slipping and falling? Were we listening to a thud like a book falling off the counter? Were we listening to a thud like a ball hitting a wall? I mean, what kind of thud are we talking about here? And this is important because all of those thuds that I talked about in my household would have got my mama up off her butt. Even to this day, I think if she heard some noise like that, she would be in whatever room I'm in just trying to see what in the heck am I doing in there. I'm sorry, but moms are nosy people. They're just nosy people by default. I haven't met, unless she's like, hi. I haven't met a mom yet that ain't all up in their children's business, okay? I'm sorry. My mom, she put our clothes away. There was no stashing grass in the underwear drawer, okay, in our house. I'm just saying. If you wanted to hide something, you hide it in mama's closet, not your own. I'm just saying. And that's the truth. If you want to get away with it, where's the best hiding place? I'm telling you, I was sneaky. I was clever. I was thinking things through before it was popular to play the tape through. Okay, folks? I'm just saying. You want the perfect hiding place? You hide it in mommy and daddy's room. They'll never find it. They might stumble across it unless you get a good place, but they'll never find it in their room. They'll always find it in yours. My parents were OCD bad. All us kids cleaned every day. I know. The only time you couldn't get away with it in mom and dad's room is if they locked their, you're not allowed in the room, right? Oh, okay. So, I must have made somebody laugh. Thanks, Paul. We appreciate that. Where are you at? Oh, let me come over here. I gotta find, there you are. You're over in the vertical stream. Okay, well, it's nice to have you. Thank you, Paul. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, anyways, guys, we've got some things here. I know I'm making light of this thud, and I know we're talking about it, but in all of the light that we're making about it, the statements are true. When you hear a thud, I don't see any of us just ignoring it. And this, and we don't even have a disabled kid that has fluid on the brain. Like, that would almost make it 10 times worse. I mean, think about how crazy we are right now over healthy children. Can you imagine how you would be if your child had, fluid on their brain and you heard a thud coming out of their room? It seems like that would even be more of what propels you to kind of go in and check. And this is kind of where we were all, it's a bang now. Oh, well, what? I gotta ask, one thing that we have not ever asked? Is there firearms in that house, and were there any firearms, fired? Was there any GSR tests taken inside that house? See, I think law enforcement just fumbled the ball all over this. I really do. I don't know why, but I just really think law enforcement fumbled the ball. See, in Florida, we don't take any chances because at the end, we know it costs extra money to do it the way we do it, but we do it the way we do it because we don't let these things just go on and on and on. Like, we have forensics teams in your house within 24 to 48 hours if your child is not here. Okay, if this case was in Florida, well, you know what? We had almost an identical exact case happen in Florida on the same day as this case here, and it was the Madeline Soto case. The Madeline Soto case was Stephen Stearns. Now, granted, there were some, obviously differences. Obviously, that was a stepfather that was, essaying his stepdaughter, and it appeared that the mother knew about it. Some sick crap going on here, I could tell you that. But we had forensic teams in the house within 24 hours. We had him arrested in 36 hours. We've had him behind bars. And this is a situation that happened literally on the same day, around the same time. One happened in Florida and one happened in Tennessee. It is more alarming. It is more alarming because now it's making me start thinking about a gun. Because listen, guys, I'm sorry. I have watched Katie, the last few times Katie has been on, down to that tattoo she got that looks like a memorial with a cross on it. If it was just a green heart, maybe Sebastian around it or something like that, I could understand. But to have a green heart and to break the heart and put a cross in that heart, that's telling me that he is gone. And I had always thought that, and I know people came out and said the same thing when we saw that tattoo. And then we go and we go to this last interview, and now she's wanting to get a scholarship. This woman has never even provided funds for her own blessed child. She's never even paid for a search, and they're ready to raise money for a scholarship for somebody else? And their child is still missing? And when she's making these statements, she's laughing and joking about all the memories, wonderful memories she's had with her kid? She told us right then and there this child is gone and not coming home. On his birthday, nonetheless. On his birthday. Boomstick. Say boomstick. Don't say the G word. What did I say? Uh-oh, I don't know which G word. I say a lot of bad words. Which G word? I'm just trying to be, make sure we're accurate. Make sure we're on the same page, because things just, if you don't know about the Bullhorn Betty channel, things just kind of fly out my mouth. I'm surprised sometimes about what comes out of it, and now you're trying to control it. If I can't even control my mouth. Oh, good gracious, Betty, Miss Teacher, can we talk about the best friend that arrives that AM, please? Do we know? Because this is the thing, is that, Seth was there for 3 days, and I don't remember him saying her best friend was there. I feel like the best friend came after the fact. Because remember, Seth was there for 3 days, and I'm not, I know that I'm worried you got out there I'm worried you're going out there, in my opinion. Worried about me going out there. You're talking about in February? I'm going to be in front of the sheriff's office. I really don't care. I've got no patience, no care in the world for this sheriff's department. They know that. We'll follow the rules, but I mean, if they really, I really don't. If you're worried about I'm not worried about my well-being there, because if they touch me again, I will absolutely come unglued lawfully and legally. At that point, it's going to go higher up a food chain than that. I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's going to go big or go home. I don't think the county is going to be prepared to play 2.0 with Bullhorn Betty. I really don't. I don't do anything wrong. I don't break any laws, but they do. And I don't think they really want to play this game with me again. I'm going to tell you that right now. I really don't. But they do what they want, and I'll have to deal with whatever goes on. But I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to live in fear. I'm going to do my job whether they like it or not. Period. So don't worry about Bullhorn Betty. I'll tell you that. Don't worry about me. Friend was camping in Nashville and was there when Seth got there. Friend was camping in Nashville. Hope Float says Seth was, I just don't remember that though. Let me get some more information so we can intelligently. Don't get me wrong. I remember the conversations about the friend, but this is the first time that I'm hearing the friends were there that day. Let me get some we can talk about it, but let me get some clarification, because honestly, this is the one area that I'm not sure. Now, we talked a lot heavily about Kathy Bauer's socks. I think it's almost more odd that you need a forum page. Well, Sandwich, if you're volunteering, what do you need? I'll give you whatever you need. You need my first child, my left kidney. What do you need? If you want to do the forum page, start the forum page. I know they got Bullhorn Betty somewhere on the Reddit. If you guys want to go over there and tell them some real information about me instead of that bullshit that they put in there, maybe that could be a better forum than it is, but it's filled with lies right now. Mostly lies. Not everything in there is a lie, but it mostly lies. So, that's probably why nobody has a forum page. It's everything that's about... I don't know. She was there, I think, in Seth's interview. Not sure which one. Okay, Hope. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm not sure either. I'll have to ask him. I forgot about that. I mean, I vaguely remember the friend. I remember talking about it because I got a picture of the friend being there. So I know that the friend was there. It's just, when did the friend get there? And I couldn't remember. Actually, as a matter of fact, I think the picture I do have is from the first day. As a matter of fact, so maybe she was there the first day. I forgot. Let me dive. Unless you guys want to fill me in, maybe talking about it will ring some bells here. But I forgot about the best friend. What was her name? Lori? Is that the one? Is that the one we're talking about? Lori? Do I have that name right? I think the family got something to do with the police station that says they're not looking at them. That's not right. They should be looking at the parents first. I'm pretty sure they are looking at the parents. Any law enforcement 101 would tell them to look at the parents. I mean, at minimum, Katie Proudfoot. Right? Katie Proudfoot is the one that stands up and says that she was alone with this child inside the home. We see lights on the outside of the home. We see a blob carrying a blob to an unknown vehicle. We hear Chris is working on a car in Memphis earlier that day, and it so happens that it's a car, a sedan, that's observed. Does that have anything to do with what the car he was working on? I don't know. It's definitely a leap. It's a lead. It's something that could be followed. Do we know who that person was that he was allegedly helping on the vehicle? I don't know. Did Silvers on the Scene speak to that person? I know that there was a person that came forward on behalf of Chris Proudfoot that stated he lived or was staying in the trailer with Chris, but then we found out that he was actually staying in another RV park, not even anywhere close to where Chris was. So it made his story appear to be inaccurate or a flat-out fabrication. So I'm not sure. I think there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot that we are assuming that we're trying to take as fact, but the bottom line is the facts are that Chris, in my opinion, truly was earlier that day in Horn Lake, Mississippi. I believe that he did come back that night. I believe after he hung up with Katie, he made it back. I think something bad happened inside the house, and that's why they were on the phone for so many hours working out all the details. I'm very curious if they had any pads of paper that had paper ripped out of it or something that might have had some impressions of notes or stuff like that, because I feel like they would have went through everything that they needed to do that night. Katie would need to get done before he got there, and then things that they would, once they got there, they reminded each other of what needed to go on that day, because it appears that Chris waited until his truck arrived at work before he made the call to the non-emergency line and that would explain the half an hour That would explain the half an hour, because it takes about a half an hour from him to get from his camper to the job site in the morning. So it sounds to me like he literally got the call, they drove, or he to me, he would have had to have been moving when he got the call from Katie. And we don't know specifically what time she truly called Chris. Only law enforcement has that. But she and him allegedly say that she called him around 6:03. Well, it's a little odd that a call didn't come in until 6:33 to 6:34 in the morning. That was over a half an hour later. And that was already after they had already tried to reach Seth. Why in the world would they try to reach Seth to tell him that their child is missing before they reach out to law enforcement to let them know a child is missing? And then they still waited another 10 minutes after they reached out to Seth. What did they say between the time they called Seth to the time that they called law enforcement? 10 minutes is a long time, folks. 10 minutes is a long time. I challenge everybody in here, if you don't believe how long 10 minutes is, go sit in your kitchen in silence and put a timer on your microwave. It's a really long time. Think about it. Most of our conversations on the phone with one another happen in under 90 seconds. We get a lot of information out of our mouths in 90 seconds. We have whole entire conversations in a minute and a half with one another on a phone. It is very rare, unless we have to go into further detail, that any phone call lasts past 5 minutes in normal conversation, in normal day and age. When do you usually talk to people for long extended periods of time? When you haven't spoken to them in long extended periods of time. Okay? They spoke regularly all throughout the day, according to Chris and Katie, because they were living a separated lifestyle at the time because of his work. And they were obviously still fighting because he was refusing to come home when he was able to come home on the weekends. So there was something that's not sitting right with me in this case from the very, very, very beginning. Chris and Katie's behavior has been very, very atrocious from out the gate. You got to remember, on February 26th, Chris is out there screaming at the news people to take their cameras off his house. Is this normal behavior for a stepfather to do on the day that they found out their child is missing? Raise your hand or put a 1 in the chat if you believe that is crazy. If you think that's normal behavior for a father or a stepfather to go out there and scream at the news crews to tell them to take your house off the news when you have a missing child, who does that? If you think that he was completely within his rights, put a 2 in the chat. If you think that was wrong, put a 1 in the chat. Because I find that to be terrible behavior. And not only that, it defies logic. Nobody thinks about stuff like that. Exactly. Well, that's in and of itself. We knew that was bad, but that was much later. I'm talking about the stuff that happened when this child that really brought in the red flags, almost immediately in this case. And that is, on the ground, I think the reason why they were getting so many threats, because remember, they weren't social media yet. They did not hit social media at all yet until the 3rd or the 4th of March, over a week after this child disappeared. And they were already complaining about death threats by that time. That was from their own community, because nobody outside of their community had even heard of this case yet. So, it's always confused me. Hey, Caroline, it's nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. She had relations with the neighbors, so I'm not sure if that's true, though. We heard that she had relations with the neighbors, but none of the neighbors ever heard of her bouncing back and forth. I've talked to several neighbors. We've heard interviews from several neighbors, and honestly, I don't have any evidence of that. Not even nobody in the neighborhood believes that. That's all been driven by social media, and I don't know where that information came from. It didn't come from anybody locally. So it tells me that that's somebody's, somebody assumed that, and it just grew legs and arms and started moving all on its own. You know what I'm saying? Because I've talked to several people in the community, and nobody's ever thought Chris was, diddling with somebody in the community. As a matter of fact, just the opposite. I was told very, very early up front. I mean, if it was true, I have no reason to hold back on it, but I did look at that angle, and I was told no. Crazy Aunt, it's nice to see you. My family member was shot and murked, and they screamed for people to leave them alone. News, neighbors, everybody glad they weren't torn to shreds. My family member was shot. They screamed for people to leave them alone. Well, that's a little different. Being murdered is a little different than having a missing child. There's no, when you have somebody missing, you're not going to find them without attention. And so whenever just in my opinion, and I'm very sorry you went through that, by the way, but just in my opinion, when you are missing, the only way, especially a child, parents want their child to be seen. They want people to know what they look like. They want them to know every if they could bottle their scent and send it to everybody. So if you smelt him, you call law enforcement, they would do that. Like moms are just insane when it comes to their children. And we just didn't get that from this mother, No, people deserve privacy, even missing people mourn. Well, I'm sorry, but you have a missing child and you want privacy, there's something wrong with you. Okay? Sorry, Crazy Aunt Joe. No. And not only that, but in this situation, these parents were abusing their child. 5 different CPS visits to that home that nobody knew about, not even his biological father, before he disappeared. And you think somebody like that deserves privacy? Maybe you're part of the problem and not part of the solution. I don't know who you are. I don't know why you're in this chat, but we don't roll that way. And if you have a bleeding heart like that, why are you in true crime? Because that's not how things get done. It's not how things get solved either. We don't play like that. We don't play like that. When people come and ask for help, which Chris and Katie chose to ask for help, right? They did the interviews. They told people to keep searching, keep posting flyers. Did they not? We heard that over and over again. When you come and ask for help, and then every time somebody comes to help you, you push them away and say, I want your privacy. Well, you got some problems. We don't play those games, unfortunately. I appreciate your honesty, but I think you're allowing your bleeding heart to override common sense. These are real people. And 90% of these people, 99% of these people are injured and deceased at the hands of a loved one. Those loved ones that you think deserve their privacy. At what point, let me ask you this, at what point do you think that they deserve scrutiny? At what point? When they have a missing child? When the child turns up dead? When they only get the DNA evidence? Should they never scrutinize the parents or somebody close to them at all? Or is their privacy the most important? Not the child's well-being or the child's life. Very good questions. Very good questions. And they deserve answers. I disagree with you lovingly. I don't know who you are. I disagree with you lovingly, and I disagree with you for those very important reasons. If everybody just minded their own business, guess what? There would be a lot of murdered children out there that have no justice. Because parents are very clever, and they're able to hide bodies well. Look at Summer Wells. Unless they deserve privacy too, of course. I guess every parent that has missing children deserve privacy when 99.9% of them are the reason why that child is missing, according to statistics. That's from our own statistics here in the United States. Well, I'm just I read your comment completely the way it was. Right? No, people deserve privacy. Even missing people mourn. Why do missing people mourn? Because they know their person is dead, right? whatever. You have your opinions, I have mine. I think you're wrong in that. You mourn them not being there. Yeah, but so you think everybody, so when a person goes missing, how do you propose that they get found if everybody just stays quiet about it? Are we supposed to just, do the stuff psychologically, or are you supposed to, I'm just supposed to look at your eyes and you're going to know that we have a missing child? I mean, how does it work? It seems to me that you are anti-true crime. You're anti-missing person. You sound like a troll. I don't understand why you would be on a true crime channel if you don't think any true crime needs scrutiny. That's my problem. I don't like you. I don't like you. You're not making sense. Have a great day. I think you deserve and you belong on absolutely another channel. Definitely not the Bullhorn Betty Show. Have a great day and God bless. You've taken enough of my time. All right, so I can't speak to stupid, okay? I just can't. Some people are just too stupid to help, okay? Sorry. Sorry. But at the end of the day, we're not going to turn our back on this. And at the end of the day, a father is missing their child. I don't really give a damn about anybody's privacy. I don't give a damn about anybody's privacy when you have a child missing. Let me repeat that again. I don't give a damn about anybody's privacy when they have a child missing. Okay? Just in case the ones in the back couldn't hear me crystal clear. Okay? Crystal clear. No pun intended. I do not give pieces of shit a break. Okay? Christopher Proudfoot and Katie Proudfoot are pieces of shit. The only reason why those boneheads want privacy is because they're terrible parents and their secrets are going to throw them in jail. And that is exactly why we do not give people their privacy when they've opened the proverbial Pandora's box and came to social media and mainstream media for help. That's when we say, oh no, no. Okay, let's just get that out the way. Let's get that out the way. Where is my jail? Where is my jail door? There we go. Don't give it exactly. You have all the privacy in the world when your child's not missing. The minute your child goes missing, your privacy's gone. Okay? And if you don't understand that, I'll make sure that you understand it by the time we're all done with you. Okay? We do not take kindly to missing children. Okay? And I pray to God you are a great parent. I pray to God you are a great parent. Because you know what? I can tell you, if there was a child missing from Mr. and Mrs. E's house, we would know that they're good parents. Do you think that Mr. and Mrs. E would sit on the sidelines while everybody else searched for their son? Or do you think they're going to be out there searching for their son? Raise your hand. I can tell you 100% in my mind, body, and soul, I know darn good and well Mr. and Mrs. E, if they had a missing child, would be out there searching for their child. I know for 100%, without even asking them, if they had a missing child, they would be putting together a search party to go find their missing child. They definitely wouldn't be tapping out and screaming at people for coming and helping. As a matter of fact, they would be begging anybody and everybody. I don't give a rat's boot tootie if the cops say, nope, let's not do that. They're going to say, yep, let's just do it, just like that. Okay? I see them being very nice, but I see them not giving a whole lot about what law enforcement, they're going to do whatever they're going to do, because that's what parents do. Okay? They don't just sit around and twiddle their thumbs and have law enforcement do it. They know more about their child than law enforcement. And half the time, by this time, law enforcement's done pissed them off, right? Because law enforcement's cocky. They think they know better. You're trying to say, no, you got it wrong. No, you know what? Just, you guys do your thing. I'm going to go get my Uncle June, and we're going to take the June bug out, and we're going to go find him. We'll just stay out of, man. We're going to need you to stay here. Well, then my family's going out. Okay, ma'am. All right. We'll send your family on out. Let us know if you find anything, right? That's kind of how it goes. Hey, Wonder Secrets, nice to see you. My kids are grown. And if anything happened, I would move mountains. Exactly. We all would. Except Chris and Katie. I mean, hell, Seth doesn't even have the military training Chris and Katie has. And he didn't give a, you know what? Right? He went out there and still searched. He didn't know what the hell to do. So what did he do? He just rolled down his window and just drove up and down the roads calling his son's name. I mean, he was just doing anything, right? Just anything. And I think that that's really what parents do in a situation like this, just anything to bring them home. Yet you had two people just sitting there doing absolutely nothing. Nothing except trying their hardest to keep media attention away. Literally, Chris out there in the streets screaming at media to take the cameras off his home. Day one. Walks into the home, day one, and says, what is going to happen if this goes south, Seth? What do you mean if this goes south? You know, if he's gone. Who does that? Who does that? How is that normal? Please tell me, who does that? The hate channels can't even argue with that because nobody in their right mind says crap like that. Nobody. And then you fast forward to the unscrupulous PI that they literally hired to doctor evidence for the public. They paid people to go out and search, but we're doing other things instead.
What?
Just saying. I mean, we could just keep going on and on and on about the crap that Chris and Katie haven't done to help find their son. Literally, the list is growing longer and longer and longer with what they have and have not done for this boy. Oh, we marked it off. We marked it off. We've got a list, and the list is growing. And the list is growing. But yet they want to put together a scholarship for somebody else. A scholarship. I want to let that sink into the people that are watching this channel. The content creators that watch this channel, the people that support this channel. I want you guys to let that sink in. They didn't have $1 to put toward their son for his search. They didn't have the wherewithal to put together a search party for their son. They refused to go to any memorial or vigil for their son. They failed to participate in any search for their son. They failed to show up not one time at all throughout this whole entire process, not once, for any event for their son. And they keep citing harassment, threats. But yet we come here and we watch for 1.5 years of this man, Christopher Proudfoot, threaten literally everybody. He threatened to run me over. His stepfather stalked me in a parking lot and followed me on the road to that parking lot. They are a dangerous family. We heard from Nina Gomez, his ex-wife. We hear about 5 abuse reports levied by his own stepson, Sebastian Rogers, which just so happens to be missing. We hear about an ultimatum from the neighbors, a big fight that Chris and Katie had before Chris stormed off and never came back home again. And then all of a sudden, Sebastian's gone and Chris appears. There is so much when it comes to this case. There's so much. So much. And every time we turn around, you know who the fingers are pointing at? Katie and Christopher Proudfoot. They're not pointing at any other person but Chris and Katie Proudfoot. What other person are they pointing at? They're not pointing at Sebastian, because there would have been evidence that Sebastian walked out of that house, and there is none. There is none. If it was an abductor, there would have been evidence of an abductor coming into the home. If it was an abductor after he left the home, there would have been evidence again of him leaving the home. There is none. The only thing we have in our possession is a lights video that has very specific steps through a common area on the side of their yard, and it led to an unknown, what appears to be a sedan, potentially a Honda Accord. And law enforcement is trying to make us believe that that lights video is just reflections. A minute and 30 seconds of reflections from a moving truck on the other road. Now, mind you, the other road dead ends. So there's no possibility of a car riding in the same spot for a minute and 30 seconds on that road to get a light reflection for a minute and 30 seconds. It's just an impossibility, okay? But they're wanting us to believe, they originally wanted us to believe it was a garbage truck. Nobody bought that. And then through the FBI statement, they tried to sway us again by saying it's a reflection. But that was immediately, because at the end of the day, we have a lot of smart people on here. We have a lot of experts on social media. This is what law enforcement is just failing to acknowledge when it comes to social media. We have retired FBI. We have retired detectives. We have body language experts. We have deception detective experts. We have literally every type of expert that you could possibly, the people they call to advise them, we have. Okay? And so when we send them these cases, they're part of us. They are true crime junkies like we are. They do this for the love of the job. Look at Peter Hyatt. He was well known. You send him a question, he will write you back. He will answer you. He will talk about it. He will explain it to you. Where else in the world would you have that type of expert at the tip of your fingertips? And we had somebody of that caliber and that magnitude on this platform helping us. So I think that that's what law enforcement fails to understand. How do we understand these cases is because we have great experts and we use a lot of logic and common sense. He is missed. He is missed. The world doesn't know how missed he is until the next case, you know? Instead, he's like, what would he say? What would he think? And we don't have him. But in this particular matter, we have everything pointing to the Proudfoots. We only have movement coming from the side of their house to an unknown vehicle, and Sebastian is gone, and he's gone for forever. We have a path of a search dog that we were also told was a false positive going in the same exact direction that we had the movements with the flashlights going to the vehicle. And very well may be the vehicle driving off, because that same vehicle, before it turned on Stafford, which is what's blowing my mind, all of the witnesses said that car went up to Devon. It didn't immediately turn on Stafford Court first. It went all the way up to Devon. Devon is where the road that goes over to that new subdivision. But it went up to Devon and then turned around, came back down, and turned on Stafford Court and sat there. And even though when the lights went to the car backed out and went out the main entrance, when it went into the neighborhood, it didn't immediately turn on Stafford. It went up to Devon. It went up to Devon, then it turned around, then it came back to Stafford. So now we're watching the dogs, and the dogs were following, in my opinion, the car. Why would they follow the car? Because they got the scent from the house to the car. And once they made it to the car, I think they picked up the car scent, which is what made the false positive. But I could be wrong about that. I don't know dogs. I don't know dog scenting. We're very ignorant in that. And I haven't talked to Jules, and I need to get a hold of Jules so she can come and explain it to us. I've had her on the show before to talk about this topic, but I got to be honest with you. You know, we go through these cases, and some of the stuff is retained. Every time we hear more and more about the dogs, more information is retained, but we don't use it all the time, so it does come in its waves. He said they wanted people to take a deal. I got 3 nurses sitting in my room watching me. They never heard of BHB. We got that's funny. Hi nurses. I'm Nurse Ratchet. Ask my mom. She says I'm Nurse Ratchet. I'm a hover doc. When I'm on mom duty, when she had her surgery, I did everything. I was on top of her like what? Like don't move, don't breathe. All right, be easy now. Are you sure you're peeing in there? Should I come in there and check on you? No. I recently talked to a lawyer about the case, and he said detectives and TBI don't solve these cases. They are waiting for a confession, and they definitely don't want to go to... Of course they don't. And that's kind of been what I've been implying this whole entire time, you know, Girl Mom, is that they don't bring enough circumstantial cases because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they don't have they're not in it to win it. Okay? And then I found out just recently while I was reading some other documents that they had a trainer over in Nashville that was doctoring freaking training reports. And here we're wondering why it seems like officers feel untrained. Well, it's because they are. They freaking are. It's the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life. They worried about their conviction percentages. I know. I'm sick of all of this. Like even the crime statistics, you know? Like California's been doctoring crime statistics so much. Our crime statistics has been fully dysfunctional for almost 10 years. I mean, they've intentionally labeled as many people white as they possibly can. I didn't know what that was all about. At first, I started thinking that it was mistakes when I kept seeing it. Because, you know, when you're pushing stuff through, mistakes do happen. But somebody started listing, like, literally all these charges in this one community. And they were listing all these people white. I mean, and there's no possibility of them being that much of a mistake. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, why would they be doing this, you know? And it dawned on me because they're trying to show different statistics. That's what they're trying to show. They're doctoring their statistics. And they're trying to show that there's more white crime or white on black crime than there is, you know, or maybe that maybe the, you know, black and brown crime is going down or whatever they need to do for statistic wise. But it had something to do with that. And it just blew my mind. I'm like, you know, if this is the way it's going on in California, then this is the way it's going on in a lot of these areas to doctor crime statistics. So I don't even think our crime statistics over the next 20 years are even going to be remotely accurate, folks. I you know, it's hard because we, you know, here in the true crime community, we rely on those statistics. You know, I think anybody that's trying to make decisions on, you know, programs and jails and stuff like that, I think these are important metrics that we as a country rely on. And you guys may think it doesn't make sense, but it does, because think about it. If somebody is part of a black gang and they're listed as white, what's going to happen to them? They may be put in with an altering gang person that might take their life. Like, you got to understand that behind the scenes too. These are metrics that they have to use behind the scenes. I know people don't understand that, but, you know, there's a lot more that goes on in the prison system in placing these people and which pod to place them in and stuff like that these mistakes can have lethal consequences for. Because there is crime still behind bars, you know? CP, KP need to be arrested and given an amount of time to produce Sebastian. Tell where is, or at this point, it's been too long. They're going to either have to charge them with something, and they're what they're going to do in the state of Tennessee is like they did with the Wells. They're going to wait and lollygag until they piss away their statutes of limitations on the abuse charges, and then Chris and Katie are free. And that's what Sumner County is hoping for. That's what they're hoping for. Like we've got, I'm disgusted with Tennessee anymore. I'm literally disgusted. Hey, Rena, it's nice to see you. We need to learn more about everything. I agree. I think we need to start looking at the politicians here, because when you become, again, the Boyle, I'm telling you, you guys are going to watch stuff work here in Manatee County, because I can tell you, I already saw the huddles with the former commissioners. I'm not lying. I tell you what, I got some pissed off commissioners, and they know I'm coming for them. They know it. They are not, I can tell you there were 2 commissioners that, were giving me the stink eye today, and I'm perfectly fine with that. And guess who they were rubbing elbows with? One of the former commissioners that I worked a boot. I worked my ass off to get that lady off that commission. Worked my ass off to instill George Cruz, which ended up putting a knife in my back, that bastard. But anyways, let's keep moving on. It's not about me. It's about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Keep it focused, Betty. Keep it focused. You can only have one fight tonight, damn it. It's with Sumner County, not Manatee County. Get it right, lady. All right. You're right. Let's woo-saw something. So we're back here. We're looking at a lot of different angles here. And the one thing that I think that we're all concerned with is the thump that's now a bang. And now it's making me wonder, did anybody get a GSR test? Did anybody have the guns tested in the house to make sure none were fired? Or did Sumner County drop the ball on that as well? I'm just trying to figure out what in the world they did. I think you bring a great insight with politics on these cases, because you're right. That's where you have to start. It is. Everything that we do is law, right? I mean, if we're law and order, who do you need to make laws? You need Congress, okay? You can't have one without the other. And a lot of people on these platforms, when we first got here, they talked about true crime. They never talked about the laws that prevented cases or got cases kicked or thrown out of court. They never talked about, the needs or how they found out through this case that, if they had this law in place, we need to advocate for that stuff. And it's like everybody talks about these cases, but in my opinion, weren't really doing the next step of really trying to make changes so the cases didn't come around to begin with, Like, think about it. Austin Drummond. We're having a major conversation right now on letting violent offenders, free in our country when they're violent offenders and they've been arrested. These are conversations we should have had decades ago. We should not be allowing animals to run amongst us and hurt us. We are from a civilized country. When you break the law and you're a violent MFer, we want you behind bars. We do not want you out here to hurt me, to hurt the people in my chat, to hurt anybody in their family, or to pity a fool to hurt anybody in my damn family, right? So we've got to do something, and so the only way you can do it is bridge the two things. We don't like politics. I hate politicians. You know what? So I will never become a politician, but I damn sure am going to support people that can get stuff through, because at the end of the day, I don't want to be a Chicago, okay? I don't want to be a Tennessee. I want to be a Florida, and I want to kick ass. I want to know that when people break the law here, they go to jail. They get behind the slammer. Why does this thing keep shutting off on me? Because it keeps going into the damn... and every time I come back here, it's not on my thing. I want my jail door, damn it. Quit hitting the message. God gracious. I keep putting this keeps touching the touch screen. This right here. And it keeps turning my buttons off, and it's driving me. Oh, here's the fart one. There were people... the chat saying something about fart something. So I figured I'd give you guys a juicy one. I'm sorry. There you go. Don't say I never gave you nothing. Don't say I never gave you nothing. Jennifer says this reminds her of the Delphi case. They won't let the public help them. I don't think that Sumner County really is letting anybody other than TBI, corrupted TBI, really help them. They're not even really cooperating, from my understanding, with the FBI. I mean, they don't want the FBI involved. They don't want us using the FBI flyers. They want this I don't really care what Sumner County wants, and I don't care what TBI wants, because I don't trust either one of them. You know, their batting average is atrocious on cases like this. Okay? Let's be honest. So, it's not even Sumner County. The whole state of Tennessee sucks on cases like this. Okay? We had 2 cases, one in Florida, one in Tennessee. The guy in Florida is spending the rest of his life behind bars right now. Okay? We're still playing patty cake in Sumner County. There's a big difference, okay, in how we deal with law. I would say one state knows what the hell they're doing and one state's dumb as shit. Be sticky on me today. I'm just saying. Where am I? Sorry. Danger. Sticky buttons. Sticky buttons.
Bullshit detected. Take precautions.
We are talking about Chris and Katie Proudfoot, just in case you guys didn't know. It is time to put on the boots. We're about to be wading in a whole bunch of bullshit.
Bullshit level, DEFCON 5.
We are in the zone of hashtag Chris Proudfoot, hashtag Katie Proudfoot. One of the investigators hid information on a suspect because he wanted to be the one to solve the case and didn't want anyone to find what the detective found. I agree. I believe it. I believe it. We talk about arrogance in law enforcement, which, you know, some is warranted. You know, and not only that, they have a tough job because they have defense attorneys, okay? So there are reasons why that they do want it like that. But at the end of the day, when you're at a case that is cold or getting cold, you're going to want to allow a little more out in order to salvage that case. And we're not finding that here. Proudfoot's the snakes, yeah. That was Holly. But oh yeah, I remember that. And that was a California case. That was a Tennessee case too. And that's it. I mean, they that's just the way they are. They're ignorant. There's a lot of Tennessee law enforcement that are just ignorant. Okay, it's just the way they've been taught to do it, so that's how they do it, right? They don't ever think of anything outside of the box. It's the one most annoying thing with law enforcement. If we can just get law enforcement, their training is good, but we need them to start thinking outside of the box. And unfortunately, with law enforcement, their training is trained inside the box. You know why? Because when you're inside this beautiful box, you don't make mistakes, okay? They don't want to make mistakes because they got to deal with people like those pesky, you know, defense attorneys that make them feel like poo-poo on defense or on the witness stand. Look at Alec Murdaugh. Remember what was it, the sergeant or the lieutenant? And remember poo-poo, you know, Magoo? Was it Magoo? No, I don't think it was. What do we call Dick Harpoolian? Poo-poo. Yeah, poot-poot. Poot-poot. That's what we called him, poot-poot. Okay, so Dick Harpoolian, he was the one that was like, what did he say to the guy? Oh, so you're just basically, what did he say to him? Come on, help me out here. What did he say to him? Like, you're basically just the tape guy, right? This lieutenant. Oh, so you're just the tape guy. So, you got those defense attorneys that make you feel like this big on the stand, right? So I understand why law enforcement, I don't want to beat law enforcement up, because at the end of the day, we know proper protocol. And proper protocol, you don't want anybody messing with your case, because you want everything to follow a chain of command. It's just, again, inside that box. It makes things also nice and clean. I got boots on, Betty. Good for you. Good for you, guys. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button for me, please. I greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. And all those people over there on the, we only got 14 people now on the vertical stream. It's nice to see you. Thank you for watching. We do appreciate you. But that's kind of where I'm at with all of this. Like, it's just getting to the point where it's annoying, because we're relying on law enforcement, which we know 90% of these cases, when they've gone this long, it's never law enforcement that finds them, it's the public, and they're withholding information to prevent the public from finding it. It's just the most annoying rat race you could ever have. If they were just a little more transparent, more cases would be solved in 2025. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. It's just how long are they going to keep dragging it out before they're ready to, start making some real strides to solving it? I don't see where they're really wanting to solve this case. This is a solvable case. And at this point, 2 years out, we shouldn't be waiting for too much. I mean, at 2 years out, any forensics that you would have collected are already back in. Okay? If they're not back in by now, then you've got some problems in your state. So I don't even want to hear that they're still waiting for this or this and that. I mean, we're coming up on 2 years, folks. They have everything that they're going to have at this point. Okay? With whatever they've got everything that they're going to have. So they need to be deciding what else do they need and start going out and finding that. And if all they need is Sebastian, well, I find it problematic that they're still sitting inside Sumner County Sheriff when clearly Sebastian Rogers is not there. We have Layla Santinello that's had more ground searches than Sebastian Rogers has. More ground searches than Sebastian. An adult missing child from Sullivan County gets more attention than an autistic 15-year-old boy out of Sumner County. But that sheriff has had his hand out asking for money for raises and asking money for a lofty office, but never once has he gone to the Board of County Commissioners for money, for additional search money for the main missing person in their community. And shame on the Board of County Commissioners for not raising this with the sheriff. If we had a problem here, I guarantee we would be talking about it at our BOCC meeting. You bet your ass we would be. And I just hear crickets. I hear crickets. Maybe I need to start showing up to the BOCC meeting in Sumner County. Maybe that's what they need. Because they really starting to get to the point where I'm thinking that the whole damn county needs a swift kick in the rear end. Like, let's go, folks. What are we waiting on? What are we waiting on? What are we waiting on here? What I would like to see is I'd like to see Chris and Katie quit trying to worry about, saving everybody else's kid and maybe just get off their ass and start looking for their own kid. I mean, I'd like to just see that, I would like to see that. But this whole thing with we're going to put a scholarship in honor of, but you couldn't even scratch together $1,000 for squat for him. But yet you're going to throw together thousands of dollars for somebody else. I found that repulsive. I found that offensive, repulsive, offensive. Just literally a whole host of feelings and words that came to mind that are not very savory when I heard that. And you know what? Moreover, I know for a fact now, if I only just thought it and just waiting for something, I know wholeheartedly He is gone and never coming home again. That's what I know from the statements the statements Katie Proudfoot made on his 17th birthday. I know we're never seeing this boy come through a door again. She made that very clear, did she not? She made it very clear. He's not coming home. So they're going to honor him. They're going to honor him. Let me know what you think. My email is bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Guys, thank you for coming out and hanging out with me as we go over this. We're going to start breaking down and going back to the beginning. What kicked all of this off is I was clearing some information on my phone, and I started coming across some stuff that I hadn't seen in a really long time. And I started saying, man, I forgot this. Man, I forgot that. Holy smokes, I forgot this. And so that's when we started it up again. And here we are. We went back kind of and started reading some of those things, and then we stopped because Katie decided to come out and talk about her son in a very disgusting manner, in my opinion. She was laughing and having a good old time like she's talking about her great-grandfather that she hasn't seen for years and years and years, and what great memories she had before he died. It was repulsive. It was concerning. Okay? It was concerning. It didn't make me feel good. It made me feel sad after watching it. It made me realize Sebastian truly is gone. And she knows exactly what happened. If I wasn't convinced before, I am 100% convinced of that information now. We're going to continue to pray that I'm wrong. We're going to continue to pray that we're all wrong, because I know there's a lot of people in this chat that are thinking just like me. And we don't want that for Seth. You know, we love Seth. We care for Seth. We have watched that man fight like no father has ever fought for his son. And it's hard to watch. It's been hard to watch. It's been hard to see what Chris and Katie have done to him over his pain with what they did. Them losing his son. It wasn't he that lost his son. It was them that lost his son. It was them that allowed his son to be assaulted back in California. It was always them. It has always been them. Always. Always. We're going to continue to pray for Sebastian's safe return. We're going to continue to try to uplift Seth. But we're going to continue to fight. And we want accountability here. We want accountability here. And we're sick and tired. We're sick and tired of being disgusted by watching a mother make a mockery of her own son's disappearance. One that she caused, in my opinion. One that she caused, in my opinion. And until there's evidence supporting otherwise, that is going to be the opinion of me in this channel. I just want to know where Sebastian is, right? At this point, we just want to bring him home. We want his father to have the answers that he deserves to have. Sad. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Now, just to let you know, if for any reason she knows we're rolling out, let's go ahead and bring her up. Come on. Okay. I know. Oh, thank you. Thank you, baby. My little baby. Can I finish my show? Yeah? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. I love you too. So tomorrow, I obviously have to be somewhere early in the morning. So if I'm up on time, which this morning I was not, because I did not sleep well. If I'm up on time, we're going to be going ridiculously early. So what do I mean by ridiculously early? If I can get the show started at like 6 o'clock in the morning, we're going to be going at 6 o'clock. If you guys do not hear from me by 7:30 or 8, we're not going live until after I return from the Port Authority meeting, okay? So that's going to be how we plan this. Tomorrow, I'm going to shoot for ridiculously early just to get you guys as much information. If you guys need to watch it on the replay crew, watch it on the replay crew. And then when I get back here tomorrow afternoon, we will go through another show just like this in the afternoon. And then, of course, we'll be back on track for Friday. I don't anticipate anything. Maybe I shouldn't say anything. Hold on, let me look at the calendar real quick. Hold on, give me just a second. I don't have the port commission on here, but we have a port meeting tomorrow. And it doesn't look like I have anything on Friday. So Friday, we should be back on schedule. Saturday, you guys know how Saturday is. We're going to be early morning, and probably if I can get back here for an afternoon, but it's very few and far between. We do an afternoon show on Saturday, and then Sunday we'll try to do an early morning show and a later afternoon show on Sunday, and it'll be like that for the remainder of the week. We're going to be adjusting our times a little bit because I am back at the going to my county meetings regularly, and I've got to kind of budget those, but I have to do those. We've stepped away from that for so long that it has really affected things very negatively for me, and I just can't do it anymore. I've got to be able to be at the county. There's just needs to be some hand holding, and I mean, it's getting dangerous here, folks. Okay, I would not be saying anything if it wasn't really a matter of things being really rotten going on here. I wouldn't have a problem, but this stuff is pretty rotten. Sorry guys, I'm trying to get to where I need to be. Come on, is this the right one? Yes, this is. Okay, there we go. Oh, thank you. You talk about a woman that did not get Sebastian's belongings from his school. Yep, that is true. She never went there for his belongings. But we do need to figure out about the friend. I'll see, if I can find out any information about the friend Lori. So I can remember. I just don't remember too much. I remember her. I remember people bringing her up, a long time ago. I remember hearing about her in March of 2024, because that's when I got into the cases. If you're saying, oh, no, she was there, I understand that she was there, that at the time all this happened. But you got to remember, I didn't start this case. I didn't dive into this case until the middle of March. I think the first show that we ran on this was just like a 2-minute clip, and it was on March 16th. So, we played catch up when we first got here, and it was like 2 days later after we got involved in this case that Chronicles of Olivia dropped her video, and that's when I kind of flipped, So anyways, guys, you rock it out with your coffee beans out. Thank you all for being here. God bless you. We'll see you guys first thing in the morning or the afternoon. Like I said, I'm going to try to roll ridiculously early, so we don't have to, that you guys don't have to miss anything. But if all else fails, we'll just have to cram everything into an afternoon show. All right, we'll see you soon.